What is up, everybody? Today we are reviewing Blair Witch, a game about flashlight combat, a lesson in littering, and cell phone games? Yep, those exist, and not smart whenever a witch is chasing you. Oh, and if you think someone's watching you, they are. Blair Witch is a psychological horror game that takes place in Burkittsville, Maryland. You play a guy who goes by the name of Ellis, who has joined the hunt for the missing kid named Peter Shannon. Ellis is joined out of his own free will. Yeah, I'm out. Ellis is joined by his dog Bullet, easily a Trico 2.0 if you ask me. Now, Bullet may seem like your average tracking dog, but that's just the icing on the cake. Without Bullet, Ellis goes into some crazy sort of shock that causes him to hallucinate and panic. It makes for some wild effects in the game. At what first seemed like a normal search and rescue takes a quick U-turn once nightfall hits. As they all say, if you stay on these woods past dark, there is no going home. Now, Blair Witch had some interesting gameplay mechanics that made for a good time doing some of the same things we've done in Outlast, except now the camera serves a purpose. Your camera allows you to watch the tapes that affect the physical state of the world around you, allowing you to obtain items for both to catch a scent on or to open up unexplored areas. I'm pleased on how the game takes tons of ideas from the movies as well, except for the second film, because unlike that movie, this game's actually enjoyable. You will find yourself walking around in circles, and this game doesn't hold your hand, which is fine, because walking around in circles, as odd as it sounds, that's the Blair Witch experience. Walking into this game, I didn't think there would be any combat. I thought I'd run and hide, like every other survival horror game. Luckily, Blooper Team must love Alan Wake because you can eliminate enemies with your flashlight. Not exactly Alan Wake, but close enough for me. Enemies will dash behind trees, and the only thing that you can vaguely make out about their appearance is their long, branch-like arms that kind of resemble Ents from Lord of the Rings. Bullet will look in the direction of the enemies so you have a clear idea of where to shine your light. It's a simple combat, but I gotta give props to the Blooper Team because I found it very enjoyable. I also have to give props to the sound mixing.
We're taking a detour. Spencer thinks he saw something. It's probably just a raccoon, but, yeah.
I told you it was not a raccoon.
The voices were always fluent, even over the walkie-talkie, and a lot of games today show little to no emotion in the voices, but this game took me by surprise on the dedication they had towards the audio. Then again, this is horror, and audio is a necessity. Another key item this game has is how pristine the world and character building is. The game does a good job telling a story through the scenery of a not-so-abandoned forest that still feels isolated. Finding these effigies hanging from trees and then crushing them to reveal a photo of a victim gives an eerie feeling. Knowing that someone else has walked the same path as you makes this game even more alive in an odd kind of way. You don't feel as alone, but yet it's still so much more creepy. Even the way your character changes physically and mentally is well thought through. During my playthrough, I never had any complaints about the way my character changed, the way the environment changed. Now, there is 5 endings, so I was pleased with mine. The other 4, I'm not sure about. It's all up to how you play, because, the whole time you're being watched by, who knows what. But whoever is watching you is paying attention to how you're treating Bullet. If you pet him, if you're shunning him, if you're feeding him snacks, everything is taken into account to that final act in the game. Despite this game having some creative ideas, there were some rough patches in the game. One glitch that would happen did not allow you to pull up your weapons wheel. I'm not sure exactly what caused me to have this glitch, but to fix it, I'd have to quit to the game menu and then reload my save. Sometimes it would happen in key moments too, and that I was not a fan of at all. The next issue I had was actually an issue I had in Layers of Fear, and it occurred numerous times in Blair Witch. Some of the door structures in the game won't allow you to walk through them, instead you have to crouch and then walk through them. Doors that were clearly not blocked by anything but some architectural errors Blooper still can't seem to get right. Another thing this game couldn't hold consistently was its frame rate. Oftentimes the screens would get super sluggish and it made it a chore to look around. And this was a bummer, especially when you were trying to play flashlight tag with some of the native ghouls. Overall, I loved Blair Witch. Despite it having its issues, what game doesn't? None of the issues were game breaking, so let's go over my pros. Fantastic audio, great world building, story kept to lore, and then interesting characters. The cons were the frame rate drops a bit often, crouching in the doorways is kind of a bummer, and then also as well as the item wheel disappearing for no reason. So saying all this, this game is definitely $20 out of $30. I appreciate any feedback, and I also appreciate you guys stopping by and checking out this video. Next review is going to be Astral Chain, and I hope you guys check it out and like it. Thank you.